Okay, so this is Short Type Delta by IRAM, released in 1998 on PS1. My goal is 1cc with R9 Delta, aka the default ship. I have right now I have a Golden here as the commentary.
Yeah, hello guys.
Difficulty normal, all defaults.
Okay. Just making sure it's default everything.
Okay, I'm starting the game now.
Right, so yeah, good morning guys. I'm CPS said I'm Golden and I'm gonna be joining for commentary. Just looking at his game right now. So are you gonna be picking a standard? Or anchor? Okay.
Yep, all default ship.
Yeah, so the default ship is the same ship used in the other art types, I believe. And for those of you who are new to this game, I think it's a great game. Yeah, it has like cool graphics, cool music, cool everything. It's just that it's a very punishing game, as we might see. Because earlier today, CPS and I were talking about how this is kind of a sus for live events. This game gives you no one-ups, even though you can score to an extent. So right now it looks like he's gonna get his force. The force is the red, orange, amber thing.
Also, in this game, you can manually set your own speed.
With L1 and R1, yeah, you can adjust your speed, which makes it very useful for very careful movement. You kind of need that in this game because you're gonna encounter some very tight hallways and very tight spots. So you might be seeing CPS destroying enemies without shooting at them. He's like running into enemies with his force right in front of him. So that benefits him, and that if you look at the bottom left hand corner of the screen, you have something called a dose. Right now he has it at 56.7. I think that's the number, 56.7. You fill up the dose by running into enemies and absorbing bullets. When it reaches 100%, you can unleash a very powerful weapon called the force weapon, force attack, delta weapon. Yeah, that will clear the screen of enemies and bullets. Very useful for spots that are very tight, or during an emergency when you just forget what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Use the force. Yeah, may the force be with you, CPS.
Nice.
So the first two levels are actually pretty easy, well, as to be expected of the first two levels. But he has to use that as an opportunity to fill up the dose. Because as I was saying earlier, there are some very tight spots in this game that you need to use the dose in to get rid of enemies and bullets. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a bomb for emergencies. Only this time you have to be very careful with using it because you have to be resourceful about it. It takes quite a while to fill it up. This boss is straightforward. Everything about the first 2 levels is straightforward. Maybe even the 3rd level. It's just that on the 3rd level, that's when the difficulty starts to rise and recovery starts to get really nasty. Stage 1 is complete. Coincidentally, you fill up the dose the same way you will earn points in this game. You earn points the same way as you will fill up your dose. Right, CPS's goal right now is a 1cc, so he might not be worried about getting going for points. But for those of you who like to go for high scores, and for those of you who like leaderboards, being number 1, you get points by doing the same thing you will fill up the dose, just running into bullets, absorbing them and damaging enemies by being in contact with enemies.
Yeah, Tenmachi, yeah. According to the lore, this game and Cosmic Cop takes place at the same time.
Very interesting.
It happens at the same time. Also, this game canonically took place after the original game, a year after R-Type 1.
Yeah, apparently there will be some references to R-Type 1.
Yeah.
In one of the later levels, you will see. Excuse me. Yeah, so in one of the later levels, you will see some wreckage from, I'm guessing, from R-Type 1. So that's to hint that the game takes place, 1 year after the events. So right now he's underwater. The music might change a little bit. It becomes really, I guess, underwater music. So that debris it makes this level kind of tight. It's nothing too bad. You just have to be aware that not to crash into the wreckage and then die, and then you have to recover. When you recover, you start your power-ups from 0, so it can get really annoying. And then the case of the later stages, it might even be dangerous to not have any power-ups. Also coming up is another really tight section, in my opinion. So there's gonna be a hallway with these fish enemies. You can actually use these fish to fill up your dose a little bit, in case you used it up. But see, this is the section I'm talking about. You have to deal with bees and then this hallway, and this is where I would use the delta bomb. Also, it's very infuriating to have to recover here. Yeah, CPS just used the bomb. The delta attack. If you're really good here, once you use your delta attack, you can refill your dose maybe to like 30%. So you will go, yeah. So when you use your delta attack, you will go back down to 0%. But yeah, if you're good, you can get it back up to like 30 or so. Basically, you have to be wise with. Oh, he almost crashed into something. Yeah. As the guy in the comments is saying, you have to be aggressive. Just run into enemies and do as much damage as you can. This boss is pretty annoying in my opinion. The biggest danger of this boss is running into those purple bullets. They are destructible, but still, if you don't have your force correctly positioned, you can run into one of them and then you lose life. Turning up your speed helps a bit here. So now we're at level 2. Well, level 3, more like. These levels are actually called contacts for some reason. Really weird naming. On the third contact, this is where it gets really, well, not really. This is where it starts to get a little bit harder.
This is like a callback of stage 3 from the original game. You know, the one with battleship.
Yeah.
But this time it's a giant walking mech mecha.
The hardest thing about this level is that you have to know the timing of the legs, because you're gonna have to go under the enemy, this giant mech. Yes, as you can see, CPS is destroying enemies with his force, getting some of that dosage. If you guys get a chance to play this game, this level suffers from a lot of slowdown.
Oh yeah, this is how the real hardware runs as well.
Yeah, and on real hardware, that's what happens. The frame rate's gonna go down, but because the game speed is timed to the frame rate, it can actually help you, because that gives you more time. Yeah, that gives you more time to react to like enemies. This is a really good spot to fill up your dosage. Because those weapons are not very threatening. You know, very telegraphable, very predictable. Comment says, I tried it once and didn't get past the beast. Yeah, I felt that. It's just a really nasty spot to die in and then not be able to recover. Okay, now CPS is past the legs. Yeah, now the level is maybe a little bit more manageable. Not easy, but still more manageable, because you have to know when to put your force behind you. I don't remember if he does put the force behind him, but personally I find it very useful to plant the force behind me, because enemies will come from behind. This is also a pretty good spot to fill up the dosage in. You'll see why. It's because it's because the mechs start shooting out these what do you call them? These blue like machines. They shoot out a lot of bullets, and you can just cancel them with your force. So this is the boss, I guess you can call it that, or the boss section. It's not bad. See, he's already done with it.
Speed kill.
Yeah, I feel the graphics are really cool. It's one of the reasons this is one of my favorite shmups of all time. And the good thing is that you can now easily emulate it with how emulation has progressed. Just yeah, it's just that this game is, like I said, it's really punishing. If you die once, the game is not so fun anymore. This is the 4th level, and this is where things really get kicked up a notch. This level actually scrolls vertically, like a vertical shmup, but
Yeah, this is a vertical shmup section technically, but the perspective is horizontal. Interesting.
yeah, it's oriented horizontally, and you still shoot horizontally, so it can be a pain. The good thing though is that CPS is fully powered up. He has options behind, below and above him, so he doesn't have to worry too much about small enemies just running into him. And this section is a lot harder than it looks, because you have to plant your force behind you. See how many of the bullets are coming right behind them? Yeah, CPS is one of those guys who found out that you look cooler if you stream with sunglasses on. You can point many artists who are very notable for wearing sunglasses, even while they're indoors. Music here changes, and I think it's very very fitting that it changes. This is because he is at the first wall of the game. Dying here is brutal. Good luck recovering if you do die. He has to deal with enemies from behind and below him. He has to be careful not to get hit by those drawers coming from the foreground. From what I saw, he has a section down. So you know how I said earlier that I had that I never for a while I didn't make it past the beast. Oh, it's the same thing here. For a while I wasn't able to make it past this section that CPS made it through. Thankfully he was able to make it past. This boss isn't so bad either. I think there's a safe spot up here. Yeah, he's gonna take advantage of the safe spot. It's a safe spot, meaning he won't suffer damage. He won't risk dying. It's pretty hilarious. Those circles, those laser circles aren't too bad, but it's good not to risk it. The next level, the 5th contact, is also another wall for me. Yeah, good luck, CPS. This is a pretty scary stage. I think there's like a shift in tone also. There's a lot of planning involved. So I believe the only things you can, the only brains in the vats you can destroy are the ones that are cracked. You have to be careful of this debris because enemies come from the bottom, but the debris comes from the top, and like, remember, you can only shoot sideways, so it kind of sucks. You also have to be careful of shooting those. So I believe if you don't kill them the right way, the head's gonna aggressively look for you and then hunt you down. Oh, this section also sucks. At least for recovery, it really sucks. Because those take a while to kill, and it's best to be fully powered up. Okay, so far CPS hasn't died a single time, so he's doing a really good job. This section is even harder than the boss here. Is also pretty brutal in my opinion. So it's best that you learn how to get to this section without dying, so you can have at least some power-ups in case you do die before this. Yeah, doing a good job at taking care of those enemies from behind. Oh, oh, okay, he suffered a death. So now he's gonna have to recover. You do get a few power-ups here, so for the boss it won't be too bad. And remember, guys, that you don't get any 1-ups in this game, adding to the punishing difficulty of this game. Oh, I just got hit by an enemy from behind. Okay, he has one more chance.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. No, yeah, no extends. No extends on.
Yeah, normally in other games, if you go for points, you will get a 1-up as a reward. But this game doesn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, sorry about that, CPS.
Okay, no 1 CC, 1 continue clear, hopefully.
Yeah, so he's not gonna get the 1 CC, but hopefully he'll finish with at least one continue.
Yeah, I mean, this game is really not that safe or life runs.
I just really hate this spot. the exact way CPS is struggling right now. That's how I struggled when I came across this section. There's just so much stuff from behind, and there's so much planning ahead that you have to do. You have to know exactly how those bars are gonna rotate. Yeah, it looks like he made it through. So if he were going for if he actually went for the 1cc, this is how it would have looked like in a way. If he died once, but he was able to recover. So I believe it's actually 2 bosses for the price of 1 here.
Yeah, and this is a boss rush of the original game, or Type 1.
And you get the boss from R-Type 1. At least a variation of it. So according to the lore, for this game it takes place 1 year after the events of R-Type 1, which is why you get to see this exact same boss from the first R-Type. And as was referenced earlier, you also get to see some of the enemies, some of the wreckage from the first R-Type. This is the real boss in a way. When you destroy this, the level will end, but there are a lot of steps to destroying it. To keep in mind everything, otherwise you will get hit and then you have to recover all over again. This upcoming level, I have never made it past.
Yeah, time for some bio-horror.
I mean, in the real run, I've made it to stage 6. And it's a terrifying level.
Keep in mind this was rate E for everyone by EOSRP. This stage is nightmare view. We have floating brains.
Yeah. It's kind of like how Gradius was rated E for everyone on the Game Boy Advance. And it had some nightmare feel too. But this is even worse than that. Not only do you get floating bouncing brains, you also get blood. You have blood and gore and body parts. Almost as if it's making reference to the game X Multiply, which is another game that another game that Irem Software Engineering made, the developers of this game. Yeah, X Multiply is another shooting game that has all kinds of humanoid body parts everywhere. And it has like floating internal organs and everything. So in a way, this game is it's kind of a tiny reference to that game, X Multiply. And not only is this game nightmare fuel, it's also a nightmare to get through. So right now he has a full dose, full dose meter, which is really good because he's planning on using it in this really difficult part. Oh, it looks like he didn't have to use it.
I will use it.
Oh yeah. This section, yeah, I just use it in. But there is so much to learn about the bosses in this level. That's the reason why I haven't made it past. Even this part where there are these mechs just jumping from the corridor. Even that's pretty hard because they're gonna start shooting and. Remember the character select screen? This is it here. And this is another reference to the first R-Type game. Very difficult boss. There's nothing technical about this game. It's more like you just have to learn everything about how the boss behaves. CPS was telling me that this safe spot he's in right now is actually not that reliable. There's still some risk to just standing there. Now we get to see some gore. Oh, good job. If he were still in 1cc base, I think he'd be able to beat the game up to this point. This is the last stage, as you can tell from the name. I have only ever made it here through using continues. If you want more nightmare fuel, this is it.
Now it's a baby fused with alien. 1cc in this context means one continue clear.
He already lost all his life, so he's using a continue.
Yeah, this is one continue.
So apparently those babies,
yeah,
are products of fertilization in this level, as you can tell from the sperm. Really bizarre level.
And here's alien sperms, alien semen.
Somehow this level is even more bizarre than anything that's present in X Multiply. Yeah, it's a 0cc because it's a console game.
Yeah.
We can also see double helixes. Again, hinting that fertilization is taking place here. Also, there's some math in the background.
Oh, yeah, that one Pyto carrier there always gets me sometimes. The one coming from behind.
Pretty amazing how IRM Software Engineering took double helixes and then they made it into a challenge. Yeah, you're right. The no miss is often harder than the 1cc because in order to get a no miss, you kind of need to know how to 1cc. No missing, of course, meaning not getting hit a single time.
Yeah, in arcades, if you wanna do scoring, you must 1cc in the game as well. Usually, endgame bonus are given with like your remaining lives and 1 credit too.
Okay, so according to CPS, this is the hardest part of the game. Am I correct?
Yeah. This is the final boss.
Yeah, final boss, very, very, very fitting that it's difficult. It has to be difficult if it's the final boss. But you're gonna see what's hard about it in 1 second. Right now, he's still doing okay. He can just dodge those.
Ooh.
At this point, I don't know much about the game because, like I said, I haven't gotten this far in the real run.
Time for the final wall.
Only in continues have I made it. So the forest is going to be absorbed by that egg, and it is now becoming fertilized or something. CPS says that these sperm are actually random. Most of the game is pretty deterministic, so you can just plan ahead, or for the most part plan ahead. But here, these sperms are random, and I think they also increase with the longer you take to defeat this. To defeat the boss, you have to fill up the dose, and then bomb as soon as you hit 100%. So this is a one continue credit run.
One continue clear. 1cc. Technical 1cc right here.
The game's not over yet, but you get to see more weird imagery. More horror music. And it just ends here. You just get the credits. So yeah, GG's CPS.
Oh, nice. No deaths. No deaths on the last 2 stage alone is already an achievement.
Yeah, so if you manage to recover in that what's stage 5? If you manage to recover a little more quickly before you lost all your lives, you would have been able to get the 1cc.
Yeah, and
Like
1cc
as in 1 coin clear.
Yeah, and this run should have been a no deaths had I did not die at the breeze on the stage 5. I was really surprised there that I died. Oh, what? That part is usually easy, but yeah, you know, in live runs, it's a totally different than usual offline or practice runs. Things can get quickly different in live setting. And the game only records the current credit, no stage 1 to stage 4.
So sorry about that. So for those of you who are interested in trying this game out, it's very easy to emulate nowadays because the emulation has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a PS1, do give it a try. It's just it's pretty punishing. It's pretty punishing, but it's really fun, and you'll get rewarded with really interesting graphics, and you get to experience some really trippy music.
Yep, that's R-Type Delta. So it's time for Gradius Gaiden.
Are those challenges?
Yeah, this is like challenge, but since I'm using a cheat here, so it's already unlocked.
I
So
see.
there's this weird 100 100k for with cannon cleared game without using force. Yeah, that one just really weird. With cannon only, what? Yeah, some of these are just weird. This, yeah, this is a Chifo's beta played over 100 times.
Play it over 1,000 hours and then play it over 1,000 times. Yeah, yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, I have one. This is just weird without using cheats or yeah. So that's our type delta. Thanks for coming in. Now is about to play Gradius Gaiden, aka one of the best PS1 shmups.
All right. Thanks for having me on commentary, CPS.
Yeah, thanks Golden for the commentary. You did good, man. You did good.
All right. And is someone gonna help you out for Gaiden?
Yeah, yeah. Now it's about to change the game.
This is my son.